All right. Okay. This is going to be hopefully much better than a week ago. But no promises. I'm still the same driver. But looking today to do hopefully a couple tracks. So I got 3 circuits left. We'll take a look at the GPLRank time in a second, but we got 3 circuits left to do, and I thought I was going to get through 2 of them at least last week, but if for anybody that was here for the old Spa Frankenflop, I guess, on Halloween, I guess, it didn't work out. So I've had a week to reflect on it. I've not done any practice. However, I have read a lot about setups, and I think hopefully be able to make the car a bit quicker. So let me show here the GPLRank, so where we're at with everything. So last time we did this, we did Silverstone, and broke that time extremely easily. I think that's a low time. And actually, something I learned for everyone that doesn't know this, these times were based off of the sample replay file that came with each circuit with default Grand Prix Legends. So the game shipped with these 11 circuits, which is why we're doing everything all default and everything. And each of the circuits as well had a replay supplied with it of somebody doing a good lap around the track. And that's how these benchmark times were created. As far as I know. So apparently the Silverstone one was maybe done by a slower developer or suboptimal setup or something, because we broke that easily. I think I only spent 25 minutes on that and broke it by a half second. Other side of the coin, Spa Francorchamps with the 3-minute 23.42. I think I spent 4 hours doing that and got within 0.2. With the Brabham, not the quickest car around Spa. And with a custom cobbled together setup, so it wasn't, maybe not the best scenario, but hopeful that with the taking a break from it, I can just whip it out real quick. So we got Spa. I want to do Rouen as well. I don't know how difficult that one will be. And then likely save the Nürburgring, which will be the final one, to do some other time. So that's the plan, to do Spa. And so I will get everything set up here. Appreciate folks sitting through, I guess, last week's as well as coming out to this. We'll see if we can get everything started. Changed up some of the streaming stuff a little bit so that it's, I don't know, a little more professional than before. So hopefully this all works correctly. And we can jump in sim. And we'll take a look here. So it seemed like last time out it took maybe 3 laps to get the car tires up to temperature and start cranking out the laps. And I think the car, the way I have it, has the speed. However, I do want to change a couple quick things. I want to stiffen my rear roll bar a little bit, because I think that was a little too soft before. And I'm going to keep everything else the same. I think we could optimize this a bit more, but I want to see if right out of the gate I can just put that time together. So I got the time in the top right hand corner that I need to beat, the 3:20.342. And in the middle of the screen, I'll have the splits and everything that we're actually doing. So, top one, let's get started on the out lap here. Top one will be the ideal lap time, which last time we had down to under the goal of the 3:20. Second one down, best lap will be the best lap I've done. And the L will be the last lap, and then bottom one is current. So no need to push on the first couple of laps. I got the 8 laps of fuel in it. Last time I was trying to do it with 6 laps of fuel and not able to put the lap together. So I think right towards the end of the fuel tank, I was finally warmed up enough to actually do it, and it all would go away from me. And I've been driving a lot of the 67X, which is like the updated GPL 67 mod this week, and so going back to the default physics might take me a minute to adjust here. The cars on the 67X mod have a lot more low-speed grip, which is, I think, more realistic. I think that's an area the default GPL physics don't do well. At speed, once the tires are up to temperature, they're very similar, but low speed, and especially on cold tires, the default GPL cars here, forgetting how much of a roller coaster that is, default GPL cars here have no low speed grip. So we'll throw it towards the Mazda kink. Screaming up in 5th gear here. I'm not going to try anything too fancy on this, running a little wide there. You can put more steering angle into the car if you are going to overshoot a corner, and sometimes it'll help you get out of it. It's definitely not quicker. Overall, much slower. The car likes to turn now, which is good. When we started out in the last stream, had some serious problems just turning the car. So the setup changes have been for the better. Are they enough to actually break the time? Yeah, it's very easy to put the car into the hay bales. I think last stream I put the car into this building on the right here at a very high rate of speed. It adds a little bit to the spectacle of driving around Spa. And in the updated version of the circuit, it's just so much more fun with how many objects are close to the track. You really feel like you're going very fast. Alright, so coming to the end of the out lap, taking it really slow, and I might need to pick up the pace a little bit to try to get the feeling for the car and get the tires up to temperature. Coming into the source, 1st gear corner, of course. And while the car's in 1st gear, you really can't apply full throttle, or else you'll spin the tires. So it's half throttle, 3/4 throttle coming out of a corner like the source. I think that's something that a lot of modern cars, modern style racing cars, don't teach too well, is throttle application. A lot of modern cars have so much downforce and their horsepower may not be the highest. You can kind of go flat throttle whenever you do need to apply the accelerator. Through 4th gear then. 5th and into Burnenville. And I did take a look at a few replays of folks doing laps, and I didn't spot anything I was doing majorly wrong last time. This section, gotta take it more like that to stay out wide enough here where I can keep the throttle down through these last 2 S's. Feeling pretty good here up to the Mazda kink. Be a 5th gear, dab of the brakes right now on the way in, hopefully flat on the way out. off a little early this time for Stavolo. Need to push it quite just yet. Car will come alive with a couple more laps. Thanks, Massa. Hopefully we'll get it pretty quickly this time. Just getting those tires up temperature now. It's unfortunate that the timing software clears itself out. It would be nice to have the times from the last run. I'm not sure if it's possible to actually save those or not, but it doesn't look like I'm set up to either way. It's coming into the source then. Ending our second lap. I think this next lap will start to get quicker. Car's feeling pretty good, I think. So that's a 3:28. It's very slow. It feels good, but it's very slow. Gotta kick 8 seconds off that lap. It's insane. The pace. Did take it really easy that last lap, so it should be fairly easier to get a quicker time. Riding fourth gear there. Sometimes I'm having a tough time knowing exactly when to shift into fifth. Keeping it in fifth here, though, I think that's ultimately going to be quicker. Car getting a little out of shape through Mamadi. See how quickly we can get through the Mazda kink this time. Not too bad. Running a little wide. Have to really let off, make sure we don't spin the car out. Luckily, in this version of the circuit, they added a little runoff there. On the real one, the updated one, there's not too much space on the left coming out of the Mazda kink, so you have to be very precise. Ideal lap time is already down to a 3:25. And I think that stiffening of the rear roll bar was, I don't know if that's the difference or it's taking a little bit of a break and not doing it for 4 hours straight, but the car feels pretty solid right now. This is a corner into Francorchamps that I know I can take quicker. That was actually not too bad, fourth gear. I think on my quickest lap last time, I really was very conservative through there because the lap was good overall, so I didn't quite push hard enough. Whoa, almost locking up the rears into the source. I did lose it one time last stream on the source at the end of a lap. See what this one is. 3:23, so knocked up a few seconds on that one. feels good now. I think we're in the area where we really could pull it out on any of these laps. It would be very satisfying to do this on the first run today. Keep some wheel in it there. I think it's a pretty slow first sector compared to what I was doing last time. Again, it would have been really nice to have the times from last time up there, but I'm not sure how to make it remember them. The software that does the timing is actually a third-party software. It's not part of GPL. See how we go through the Mazda kink this time. On a decent lap so far, nothing spectacular I don't think. But 47.2 through the second sector. Once again beating my best lap of this session, 3:23. Through Stavolo, keeping it nice and tidy this time, not having as many problems now with sliding wide. Down to fourth gear. Be a little slow, but not getting it too far off the apex. Back up through fifth gear. Try to take Blanchimont in fourth. Down to fourth gear then. Sliding through, gonna run a little wide there. Not able to get back on the throttle soon enough. Threw away a lot of time through there. This won't be the lap, but the car is feeling fairly quick. Just come to the end. Fourth lap out, 3:22, 3:23. Once again, optimals down to the 3:22s. Just a couple seconds. Which sounds like a lot, but this is a big track. 3-minute lap. Too long on the shift there into third, but the car all kinds of sideways. Just grinding through Burnhamville down to the 52s. I think that's where I was last time. Through the first sector. Up through the gears then, sliding all over the track. Not sure what kind of line that is, but I want to keep my foot in it. This is one of the longest straights on the track, so it's important to get a nice run on it. Just didn't have the line right coming in, tapped the inside hill, the berm there. Definitely a scary Mazda, but quickest sector for this run. run it as deep as I can into Stavolo without running wide there. Flat out car, hooked up really well. Watch us nipping the dirt there. Really not a good Stavolo sector, but only a 10th off. See if we can do Francorchamps better this time. This feels like the corner I have to figure out at this stage. Just getting into the throttle too early. Gonna spin out, see if I can avoid hitting anything. Got it into the hedge a little bit there. We'll see if the car is still straight. Yeah, Francorchamps is definitely the problem child, if you want to call it that. I think the car is okay. Let's see if we can just jump right on another hot lap here. Not ending that lap well. Started the lap pretty good. Running too wide. I think the rear might be sagging, so I'm gonna have to end this run. Sometimes you get the slow punctures, which at first the car will feel fine, and 3 corners later the car starts to go out of control because you have a flat tire. That could have also just been me pushing it too much, but setup wise, I think overall it feels good. It's just putting in the lap then. 30-60. All right, let's kick right back on it. Car rolling down the hill. I have played, question, why don't I play new F1 games? I have played F1 2020, and I have played, you know, a series of the other ones. F1 2016, 17. I mean, I'm nothing too special at it, and I think there's enough folks doing videos and stuff for it that. And, you know, my passion's definitely with the older racing anyway, so. They're fun, though. F1 2020 is a good game, for sure. And I've definitely gotten more into F1 again, modern F1, in the last couple of seasons. Although this season, between COVID and Hamilton, it's impressive, but it's a sleeper. It's reminding me of the mid-2000s or early 2000s again with Schumacher. So. But definitely a little closer to F1 than I was, you know, 10 years ago. And so the game's fun. Definitely, if you like modern F1, I don't think there's ever been a better modern F1 game. Career mode-wise, the physics, in my opinion, are good enough. You know, I'm not going to be able to push a modern F1 car at the limit. So, for me, physics are good enough in F1 2020. The career mode, designing a team and all that is fun and awesome. But I don't think I've got anything unique to contribute with making videos for it, and definitely don't play it enough to put out any kind of consistency. So what I have been trying is Automobilista 2. I might do some stuff for that. Got some great classic content in that sim. Alright, so on the outlap for this second run, been doing some longer races in GPL as well, and the driving style that I would do for something like this versus a longer race is very different. Yeah, I did try the vintage. What have I tried so far? In Automobilista 2, I've tried the mid-70s car, one of them. I know there's a few. It's not the. I haven't tried any of the actual ones yet. I think I tried like the Formula Retro, which is the generic 73, 74 car, and that one's pretty good. I love that era of F1. And there's, like I was talking about, I made a video with the Francorchamps 73 F1 Tyrrell, and there's just not a lot of content, good content out for that era of Formula One. So that's good fun. I tried very briefly this morning, actually, the what is, I guess, the 67 F1 car around Alton Park there. It's pretty good. I mean, you got to play with it a lot more before I have a good opinion on Automobilista, but I loved the first Automobilista, and it second one seems to just be a little better all around. Maybe the physics, I'm not sure yet if they're better or not. Seems like reviews are good though. Alright, so through the comb. It's only the first real time lapse, so not expecting anything too crazy here. Nice tight line through Burnhamville. Same with Malmedy, although I think the entrance was slow. Slow in, fast out can be good though, for Spa especially. Get through Mazda then. Not a great line through Stavolo this time around. We'll pick it up back at the end of the second apex there though. Felt pretty good. I braked very early that time for that corner, but since it is a decent straight after it, that might be a better line in general there. Let's see what the split is. See if I can get through Blanchimont this time. I don't know if I need to go down to third. I don't think I do, but I keep just sliding wide through here. We're gonna slide wide again. Right up on the outer walls. What am I doing there? If we crash out, I'm gonna have to go look at the video. And I think, I'm not sure if my steering is straight or not. Yeah, I think I tweaked the suspension there. I want to take a quick look at what I'm doing there. So, definitely doing something wrong in Blanchimont. And it comes at the end of the lap, which is the worst part. Yeah, I mean, I'm missing the apex by a ton, which is obviously not going to help. So what I'm braking about there, tossing it in, but the car you know, I'm on a trajectory here where I'm going to slide. I'm going to slide wide. Even though my left front, left rear are under the groove is actually very wide as well. It might be throwing me off in general. Yeah, because by the time I get here, see how pitched the car is? I'm going this way to the right. And lighting up the right front to try to save it, but yeah. So I think I just have to turn in earlier and try to hit the grass on the inside, and that'll help. Now, the thing I don't want to do is hit the grass so soon that I end up, you know, throwing it wide because I missed the apex early, which you can easily do as well. We'll have to see. Car feels, I think the car's got the speed. Only done a couple quick laps, and my optimal's already pretty close to what I'm going to need. Outlaps again, though. Let me know if there ends up being too much background noise or anything. I live in a pretty busy street, but unlike last weekend, today is very warm here. Very unseasonably warm. It's kind of terrifying. So we've got all the windows open. So we'll see how loud the city is today. I like the idea of keeping it in 5th, then 4th here, and as the car grabs the apex, I can throw it into 3rd just to give me that extra turning with the torque. I use a G27 wheel. Getting pretty old now, but still works really well. I don't have any problems with it. So I use the G27 wheel. I use G27 pedals with a couple spring mods to stiffen the brake and such. And then I've got a TH8A Thrustmaster shifter. The G27 shifter finally died on me last year at some point. So I love the Thrustmaster shifter. So I know I've got a couple friends who got some of the Fanatec stuff. Be interested in getting one of the new wheels that has changeable rims, so I could do. Just trying to see if I can definitely touch the apex that time, but almost too soon. Yeah, it'd be great to have one of the wheels with the changeable rims, so I could put on, you know, 60s, 50s F1 style rim. Too many of the new wheels have so many buttons and knobs on them. They're really obviously catering towards the folks who like modern F1 and sports cars, and I drive those things so infrequently that a lot of it goes to waste and it's just extra stuff I don't need. Alright, so on the first time lap of the run, I want to keep it clean and get a few laps in this time. Talked about wheels a little bit on the last stream, and one of the problems with getting a new wheel is I've got to make sure it's compatible with some of these older sims. Luckily, GPL seems to still be compatible with most of the things out there. I know I was helping some folks try to get some direct drive wheels running on it, and it seems like it's possible, but it's not. It's at least a lot of fumbling around to get it to work right. So if I get a new wheel, I need to make sure it works with what I use it, and that's one of the reasons I've stuck with the G27 so long. Yeah, I think the CSL Elite doesn't have any issues with GPL. I think that works. You do have to play a lot around with the steering degrees and everything, though. GPL doesn't support any degree that you want. Or it technically does. You could throw your wheel at 900 degrees rotation, but there's no way to set up GPL correctly to handle it. So you need to reduce your wheel rotation. Clumsy entrance to Stavolo, lighting up the tires a little bit there. That'll heat them up though. Nice, yeah. I know some wheels have a way to change the rotation just on them. G27, it's all software, so you have to change it, but it's you got to remember to do it if you switch sims a lot, which I tend to do. All right, coming to the end of the first time lap. It's not a good lap. I think the tires are finally starting to feel pretty good here. Also have to consider the car does burn fuel as I run, so it's going to get a little lighter. I'm not carrying a lot of fuel to begin with. Shallow entry into Lacombe. Try to get on the throttle on the way out. We'll head into Burnhamville. Might be costing myself a little bit there. I gotta hit the center. Ooh, I missed the second apex. Towards Mazda then. So a little off, pretty far off in the first sector. Second sector, right about at my pace. Need to improve there a little bit though. Coming into Stavolo then. Not getting the line too good that time. trying to keep the speed up as much as I can through the corners. The car does have a difficult time up here too, because I think we're going uphill towards Francorchamps. Yeah, missing the apex there. I have to really slow down not to throw the car away. End this lap, start another. Car should have what it needs at this stage. That was my quickest lap of this session, 3:2:28. Funny, I didn't go too quick in any sector, but it was just consistent as I coming out of Rouen there. Just don't get the line right. Very easy to run wide. Pitch in the car under braking. There's a purple in my first sector there. I didn't think that was going to be too quick with the screw up out of Rouen, but we'll see. Just keep it nice and tidy. I think we've got the speed in the car. I shouldn't have to, push it too much. Just need to get a decent sector in every sector. Optimal time is under the 3:22 now. Nicely through the Mazda Kank, another purple, and a 3:21.75. Down to third gear, just wait for the accelerator. Through in fifth. So decent lap coming together here. I think there's still some time in it though to hit the 3:20.3 that I need. Another purple sector. I'm just going straight across this lap. Probably a little too slow through Francorchamps, but I also didn't run very wide there, so through La Source and looping it. That was a decent lap too. We'll try not to. I don't think it was going to be the time, so I'm not too upset about it. I'll back it up a little bit here, see if I can get a good enough exit not to throw away this next lap. I just stepped on the throttle a little too hard in first gear. It's funny how, depending on the day, different parts of the circuit can cause you a different amount of trouble. purple in Sector 1. Back on it. Ugh. Missed my shift a little bit there through Malmedy, but see if we can pull it back together. I went to grab the gear shift like it was gonna be in 4th, but then my hand had to go further to get to 5th, and just that little bit of a change threw me off. There we go. So 2 purple sectors once again, and we're down to a 3:21 flat for the optimal time. Coming to the end of the lap. Not sure if this would be a quick enough lap overall, but I do want to get a solid lap in here. Another purple sector under the 3:21 now. We'll come towards Francorchamps. Oh no. Throwing it into the barrier there. I thought I was just going to squeak away with that. I think once again I might have saved the car. It's Francorchamps in the corners after it. Yeah, Tony, sorry to disappoint you there. But we're right back on. I think the car is okay. How fun would it be if I just got the lap without trying? That wouldn't be fun, right? That's what I'll tell myself anyway. All right. A little bit of a breath so I don't run wide all over the place here. Just too much into Lacombe. Yeah, and ending that run. Very close on the run. Very close. All right. So I don't think I need to change anything in that car setup. Just need to put a good lap together. I prepared myself this time and brought some water. That last time I think I drove straight for almost 3 hours without taking a drink of anything. Not the best idea. So already an hour into this. Time flies when you're driving around Spa. Yeah, I could replace the water, but something tells me that wouldn't make me faster to replace the water with anything else. Trust me, driving GPL while drinking various liquids is a great pastime. Not one I've shared on camera. speaking of cameras, what would folks think if I did get a webcam? Would that ruin, would my face ruin GPL for you? Would that ruin my streams? Down to Stablo here. It depends on my face. Yeah, that's true. I've never received a comment in real life that my voice doesn't sound like it comes from my face, so I think my face and my voice are the Alright, let's see for Blanchimont here. I gotta make sure I figure this out so it's not a good lap. That's not terrible. And this second corner sneaks up on me now. That should be an easy corner if I'm not lazy about it. Yeah, I'll get a camera that only turns on when I'm crashing. Just for the entertainment value. Somebody can tie the OBS camera to whenever the car is at a greater degree than, I don't know, 45 degrees sideways. And it will replace the main image with just my face. Yeah, I don't think I would use. I don't think there needs to be a face on the like normal videos and things. However, it might make streams better. I don't know. Thinking about it, but for now I got to think about Spa here. Should I dress up like one of those guys that wears a helmet and gloves and everything while he sim races? I can assure you that's what I'm doing right now. Absolutely. Not doing a very good job through Stavlo this time. Still, probably next lap we'll start to hit it. Yeah, I think to get the full 60s effect, I need to get oil sprayed in my face every 5 minutes by the car I'm behind. I would not look good in a flat cap, let me tell you. Yeah, I can see gloves making sense for sim racing because sometimes my hands will get kind of beat up if if I'm doing this for a really long time. You've got like a hard, the G27 force feedback's not hard at all. It's pretty light. But for the newer wheels that do have, you know, really strong force feedback, you can really get some tweaked hands doing this for sure. Best last sector, and I'm actually optimal time is only 0.2 away from the time we need. Kept it pretty tidy there through Lacombe. I live in, so Michael asked me what my daily driver is. I live in Boston. So driving is not a great activity to partake in. I do have a car though, so I drive a Mazda 3. But cars are essentially useless for most days of the week. It is a 5-speed though, so, or it's a 6-speed, I think. So first sector is a few tenths off, with the car still coming up to speed a little bit. See what we are in the second sector here. Timing lines right out of Mazda. 47 flats, or 0.3 off there, so a few tenths here and there. I should film the very ordinary life of taking the subway places. Similar to how folks do their car review videos. Flat out through there, shift it down to 4th, pitch it in a little early. Been doing this corner, I think, better this run, although just touched the grass on the outside. What were we there? Not even a 1/10 off the best time, so car's quick already. See if I can replicate that good sector here at the end of the lap. Down to first gear, then through La Source. End the lap. Really interested in this last sector. It was not my best, but best lap in this run. I'm 1 second, with that lap 1 second off. Ugh. That was not a great run through Adi on that time. Through 5th gear, then towards Vernonville. Not a great first sector. see what we can turn this lap into. We're about 0.2 off on the optimal lap for what we need. And really stretching it out through Mazda, able to get the best sector though. I don't think any setup changes are required. I think this car's got the speed if I can hold on to it for 8 laps. I'm probably starting to push too soon in my runs as I really screw up Stavolo there. A little too quick on the entry there, lit up the tires. Really early for Blanchimont. One way to ensure I make it and also get a slow time. Another 321, so even with all those mistakes and everything, not a terrible lap. I think I'd be pretty happy with a 321 during a race. Taking the best line through Bernonville that time. Work it towards the Mazda kink. Flat out. Best sector once again. Oh, we're right. I raised my hand by accident. We're right at the best time, or the time we need with the optimal. About 1/10 off with my optimal sectors still. Did not do a good Stavolo that time. Really optimistically hitting the apex through there. Alright, end of this lap's not so great, so I'm just gonna see what I can do through Blanchimont here to get a good time, but I don't want to risk anything. So we'll come to the end of this lap and try for another one. Through the top of Rouen, not too bad. A little too slow coming into Lacombe. See if I can pick up a little bit on the exit though. Help me through Bernonville. So first sector, only about a 10th off. Need to find a little bit more time somewhere. Staring at the Mazda King. First sector isn't terrible. Second sector, I think, as I get this, is not too bad either. Oh. I'm gonna lose it. Oh, I don't want to hit the wall, but I do. I gotta stop anticipating what I'm gonna do in a corner and say that something's good before I did it. That's the truth there. Alright, I am going to take a look a little bit at the setup. Take a look a little bit at the setup and see what we can do. Sorry, 95 all around. Let's look at tire pressures. So I think I'm actually too low all around. I think I want to be a couple PSI higher on the left front. Go to 20. Go 1 PSI up on the right front. Then my rears, I think I also want to have a little higher. So that could help quite a bit. Yeah, the tires have confused me, and it's probably because of all my NASCAR stuff that I've done. But in NASCAR, or at least NASCAR 2003, you actually lower the tire pressure to build up temperature in some cases. I could be totally wrong, but I think it's been screwing me up a little bit. I'm taking a look at where my right rear, the outside is very cold compared to the inside. Outside negative would be so let's, I think my stiffness is good, ride height's good. Hold on. Do I want to go negative? I'm trying to picture this in my mind. Do I want to go negative or positive with the camber on the right rear to get the outside to be hotter? What do I want? Negative, more inside. So I want to go positive. Hopefully. I'm trusting Bart. If this doesn't work, blame Bart. All right. Let's go in and do a... Let's just try to hammer out a couple outlaps and then do this thing for real. Bet I'll feel a major difference with the tire pressures. I went up quite a bit there all around. I've been driving this version of Spa so much that when I go back to the new version, I'm going to have to relearn that one all over again too. I think overall, two things are wrong with this version of Spa. There's a bunch of things that are wrong with it. Two major things. The width of the track and Malmedy that we just went through. Those are the two biggest issues with this version of the circuit. Gonna slip a little wide there. That's no good. Well, I can just reset the car here. I love the slap sound when you hit a building. I don't know if that's the masochist in me, but smack. That's a sound I don't want to change in the updated version of GPL. It's okay. It's just an outlap. I've lost a half a lap. No big deal. This game is on PC. PC only. 1998, I'm not sure any console could run something like this. PCs could barely run something like this for the first couple of years this was out. What we're looking at here is like default Grand Prix Legends, but maxed out. And it never looked like this when I first started playing, because nothing could run it like this. I mean, the game didn't even support these resolutions initially, but alright, so this lap will also be somewhat of an outlap. They say you really haven't learned a circuit until you hit every wall around it and crash in every corner, so we're getting there. Malmedy then. Nipping the dirt on the side of the circuit. So come up to Masta then. Almost over-revved it a little bit through Stavolo, but still on an outlap. Gotta remind myself. Come to the end of the lap here. Through my least favorite corner of this stream, Blanchimont. Start another lap here at Spa, so down the hill towards Eau Rouge. We've got a green sector in the last sector on the last lap. Means it must have equaled my ideal time exactly. Little sideways under acceleration there out of Lacombe, a healthy amount of oversteer. So now we'll rip it down to Burnside, Burnhamville. Through the second part of the corner, I had to dab off the accelerator a little bit there. Take a tidy line through Malmedy because I think I just lose a ton of time when I slide there. So only a few hundredths off in my first sector. Let's see what this one is. To bin it through Masta Kink again. Couple tenths down. Malmedy didn't feel perfect that time. Pretty high speed through Stavolo. Through fifth gear then. Purple is what I want to see. It's picking up a tenth. My optimal time is right at the pace we need now. messy. Blanchimont. Come to the end of the lap though. Into La Source. Ran a little wide through La Source. Not super good. 3:20.7. That might be the quickest lap I've done at all. Or I think I was 0.2 quicker last stream. Repco engines screaming. See what we can do here. I want to get Malmedy a little tidier. Purple sector through the first sector. We're under the goal time with the optimal lap. Sliding out wide though through the second part of Burnhamville. That was very unexpected. I'm not sure how that happened. Could have saved that better. I was just trying to keep my foot in it to keep the lap time fast. Just after setting a purple sector by about a 10th. Gonna get it this stream. I think I just gotta put a few laps together here. That's what I've been saying the whole time, so nothing, no new wisdom from myself. What do they say? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Really, I think I just need to stop wrecking if I'm going to do a bad lap and just accept the bad lap. It's very easy to wreck in this sim, as many know before me. So probably need a couple more laps before we're up to fighting pace. I liked that line through Lacombe that time. Very fast entry, but I don't think I compromised the exit too much. So first time lap with this car, but I wonder if it'll be a decent first sector. Not a best sector, but not too bad. The car just doesn't have the pace yet. straightaway now towards Mazda. It's only a 10th off through the Normandy Mazda sector. 10th off my best. This is a long circuit. You've got, you know, a 3-minute lap. There are many circuits shorter. And one good lap here, you know, takes stringing the whole thing together. So something I gotta figure out a way to do. I think the car has the pace. I'm sure it can make it a little quicker with some setup changes, but I don't know if I need to. The end of the lap. Keep it tidy through the source. Set ourselves up well here for a lap. That was a purple final sector. Put us well, about a 10th and a half under the pace we need on a perfect lap. Okay, run through the cone. Up through 5th gear towards Burnhamville. Green first sector. It's sliding wide again. I'm not going to do what I did last time and throw it away. Touching the dirt there, really screwing up Normandy. It's interesting. I wonder if the change in tire pressures has something to do with the car now understeering quite a bit through Burnhamville. Second part of it. I wasn't having that issue before. Just doing a little fist pump there. I got the raise fist button mapped to the top right button on my steering wheel, so I keep hitting. A lot of people think the raised fist is like flipping off somebody, and I guess it's kind of turned into that as like a Grand Prix Legends slang, but it was meant to be. And back in the 60s, 70s Formula One, you would raise your hand if you were having an issue, you spotted an issue on the circuit in front of you, because the driver behind you could clearly see if you raised your hand. That's what that's supposed to be. A way to communicate online. If you're racing and then you see an incident ahead, you could raise your arm to warn the drivers behind you, but it's turned into just shaking your fist in anger or something. So we come to the end of this lap. Not a good lap, but held the car together. So run a little wide through Blanchemont, as is usual. starting another lap at Spa. Really getting sideways at the top of Rouen. A lot of throttle through Lacombe. See what we can do to make it not understeer. Purple sector through the first sector. Really bogging down. Very much understeering now through there. See if we can keep it together though. The car feels better pretty much everywhere else. All kinds of sideways through Mazda. Best sector though, down under a 320 with the optimal lap, and that's the lap we're on right now. A little wide through the exit of Stavolo. See if we can keep the speed up, maybe make up some of the pace down the straightaway. So losing a couple tenths there through Stavolo. I ran too wide. I'm surprised I got a best sector through the end of Bernonville and Malmedy. Just right up to the edge of the circuit. Up to the source. Try to slide it in, get on the accelerator as soon as I can. Towards the line. And a 320 flat. Finally. Whoa, try not to flip the car over. Killing the driver as we set the time. Finally. How many laps was that? I think I did 59 laps in the last stream. And that was lap 22 in this one. So it only took me about 80 laps. But I was able to get the quick time. It's not that quick. I think there's people that have gone into the 17s, 16s. I think I was seeing a couple people in chat talking about that, which is insane. I mean, I must just have the car set up completely backwards to do that. But I do want to watch the lap. That was by no means a perfect lap. I felt like there was so much of it that I was too wide, too slow. Stavolo was a mess on that lap. It's definitely where I lost most of the time, but overall, it all came together finally to get a decent enough lap to beat this damn time. So wind it up. I'll take a ride on board around and see how it was overall. I mean, first sector, second sector. I'm surprised second sector was actually was a good one because cars understeering so much through Bernonville, especially the second side of that turn. We'll take a little ride on the roll bar. So coming up to the source. Good power down on exit, not spinning the wheels too much. It's really a half throttle application. Down the front straightaway, avoiding, there's a weird bump there. We'll throw it into Eau Rouge, down to third gear. Not super tidy to the inside, but all kinds of sideways through Radillon and up through into fourth gear. Heading towards Lacombe then, kept it in fourth. Kept it in fourth gear, down to third, down to second. Pretty tidy. I wasn't that quick on the entry that time. But getting a good exit. Lacombe, I would say Lacombe has been a solid corner for me during these laps. I haven't had too much issue there. So then we'll go through Burnhamville. Fifth gear. Now this is where I didn't quite get the car under the racing line there. Yeah, it bobbed. But I chose to slow down rather than see if I could understeer through it. Down into third gear then, dancing over the top. Kept it nice and tidy through Melody, so that's probably where I picked up enough time back to actually set my best sector. A little wide over the top of the crest, but keeping my foot in it, headed down towards Mazda. You know, the thing is, I could probably jump out there and do a much better lap again now, but we're done Spa for now. I'll take the 320 flat. It's only 3/10, but so through Mazda, fifth gear, dip, quite an aggressive turn in, hell of a power slide out of there. Take a look at that again in a second. But able to keep the car's speed up and head towards then Stavolo. This wasn't great either. Fifth gear. Down into fourth, right there into fourth, then down into third here. Didn't quite get the car to that inside that would need to grab the apex, but shoved the throttle back in and took a good run of speed out. Probably saved, clawed back a couple tenths down these straightaways really. So then working towards the end of the lap here. A couple corners I need to learn the names of these two. Quick right-hander, did jump off the throttle, sometimes can take that flat. And then into this one down to fourth, dipping towards the apex. Not a great run either, ran a little wide even. Somehow this was a quick lap, I don't know. Feels like most of the corners were bad. Then towards Blanchimont, let's see what we did. Down into fourth. Keeping it in fourth. That felt pretty good. Didn't quite hit the apex, but carried enough speed through. Now to the end of the lap. Not even flat out here. Down through third, second, first. Pretty good run actually through the source. Had enough angle in the car in the entry that I was able to pivot the car quite well, then rushing down the straightaway towards the start-finish line. Get that 320 flat. 320 flat. I'm going to save that. What is it? The 7th of November. So able to get the quick lap around Spa. So let's jump out of the sim then. We'll take a look at what that looks like. Take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to take a quick break, get some water and everything. I'll upload the time to the GPLRank site, and then we'll take a look at what's next. Okay, all right. Let's take a quick peek at the rank and where we're at. So just finally, oh my gosh, that was definitely the hardest one by far, and it's almost one of the last ones I went to. But make sure this music's not too loud. Spa, we're 3/10 up on the rank time. And if I look across the different circuits, I know Monza is one of the first ones I did with the streaming. That one was fairly hard, and my time is the closest for it, so I'm not even a 10th up. It'll be interesting to maybe improve at some point. I still got two big ones to knock out. We got Rouen, which is definitely the circuit out of the original GPL that I know the least. I know it, but I don't race there very much. And then the Nürburgring, which, despite racing there all the time, it's the Nürburgring, so it's gonna be its own beast. But I think try to do some Rouen and see if we can do this 1:59 time that we need to do. So a 1:59.277 around there. I have no idea how quick I'll be. I can see that in a Ferrari at some point with this player profile. I did a 1:59.8, which is 5/10 off. So it hopefully won't be super far. I'm just gonna reset my time on the screen for this. Rouen, and what we need to beat. 1:59.277. 1:59.277. Sure I got that right. All right, so we'll jump back in GPL and see if I can do this. Appreciate everybody sitting through that with me. The basically 6 hours of Spa. I did an endurance race without even knowing it, but definitely worth it. I've always wanted to get into the negative with Grand Prix Legends, so it'll be nice to hopefully finally be there. There's 2 more circuits to go, so we want to go to Rouen. Where are we? Rouen, French Grand Prix. Now, this, of course, it goes without saying, not the place that F1 raced. F1 raced in 1967. But I'm happy this is the circuit that they included with Grand Prix Legends. Much better circuit than the Bugatti Le Mans circuit. But it's also the reason why I haven't raced here as much. Because it's not... only comes up in a couple seasons. But let's see what we can do here with the car setup. So, starting back from, I guess we'll call it scratch, I'm going to put in 10 gallons of fuel. Actually, we probably don't need that much. Lower my steering ratio. Steering ratio is kind of one of those settings that, yeah, you can just jump off the wall, the hills down the first straightaway. But steering ratio is one of those settings that really kind of depends on how you have the car set up. I'm going to put 20 PSI all around to start. I'm going to stiffen up the car a little bit all around. I'm actually going to lower it in the rear. I'll keep it at 100. Why not? Bump rebound. Stiffness. Need to stiffen my roll bars. Same all around. I'm going to keep the ride height where it's at. Take a look at our transmission. I'm going to go up to 5 clutches, and I'm going to change my angles. I'm going to go 45-85 to start. I'm sure everyone will have 100 things I was supposed to do differently, but I'm going to do a few laps. I'm going to see, A, how far off the pace it is, and B, how the car feels and how the tires are doing and all that, and then we'll come in and make more adjustments. Could be something that hopefully maybe just takes a run or two, like some of the others. So, Rouen. It's actually a really awesome circuit. I've done a couple full Grand Prix here before. Whoa. Locked up the left front, trying to read the chat. Won't do that. Through this little roundabout section, loop the car in the opening lap, so things are going to go extremely well here. That section in real life, at least in the 50s, was still cobblestone. I'm not sure if it was in the 60s. I think they raced here in 68, 66, 68. I don't know, 66 would have been Reims. First gear for this left-hander. Work our way up the hill towards the highway. I know the race, I know French Grand Prix was here in 68 because that's the race Schessler died in the Honda. So coming to the end of this highway, it's actually really fast and wide. Second gear. Might be a first gear corner, we'll have to see. First gear is weird to use on a lot of circuits. Alright, so coming to complete the outlap, only spun, what, twice? Such a different circuit and driving needed compared to Spa. It's coming down the hill, a little fast that time for not knowing exactly how fast I can take all this. Take it in third here for now. Been a long time since I drove around here. I did a video on it maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Third gear here for the left-hander, and then you gotta brake while turning into first. Bad line into the hairpin, but what you gonna do? I might actually need to change my steering ratio because the hairpin is hard. I need to go down to 8-to-1. Searching for 159.277 around here. Yeah, the car does not feel great, I'll be honest. Feels like it's feels a little like it's too low all around, but no low is fast. And under braking, it's a little dodgy. We'll do a few laps though. I want to see at least the pace it has and where we're at right now. So coming across the line with the first time left here. 2:04. So a little bit of work to do. 159. Low 159 is all we need. Tidier, get the car into first gear. Yeah, does not like turning through the hairpin. those curbs on the edge of the track too really upset the car, so you can't hit them. It's like a little bit like Monaco down through that section, which I don't remember having too much of an issue doing Monaco for this, so I hope that bodes well. Should all be flat, I think. Lifted that time, but I think we'll be able to take this right-hander flat. Very squirrely under the brakes. Our second lap here. So 2:03, improving a little bit. Feels like the car is probably going to need something though to really pick it up. And locking it up into the hairpin, but somehow I thought I was going to keep that. Don't want to run it into the wall. Yeah, I have not enough lock or something. Oversteer getting on the throttle there, but get up the hill. Try to avoid the curbs, but now flat out towards the end of the lap. Yeah, I definitely need to go down on the clutches. I also need to stiffen the rear, I think. I brake a little later for that corner. So going through here. Do a few more laps. I want to get the tires fully up to speed and probably go until I either run out of fuel or do a couple more laps. Or hit the wall. Oversteer, understeer, oversteer. Oof. Just getting the car down to speed. Down there, it's funny because I mean, I guess overall the radius of that corner is not that much different than a La Source, but just the approach to it is very difficult. We're gonna slide wide. That might be the wall. Yeah. All right, we'll take a look at the car setup. So I'm gonna lower my steering ratio. I think I need that to get through the corner. We'll see. These tires actually don't look too bad. I think I actually may want to go up on the fronts. I'm going to lower the clutches. I'm going to go back to 2 clutches. I'm going to keep my diff. I guess I am all over the place. So let's go 30-60. That's going to make my on throttle crazier, my off throttle a little less crazy. And I'm going to go stiffen the rear a little bit. We'll try that out and see what we get. So hopefully those changes will make the car understeer a little less through the faster corners and allow me to get through that hairpin a little better. And I didn't check what the brake bias was at, so we'll have to see that. That'll matter a lot too for that hairpin. Oof. Try not to run into the wall. I did there. Not the prettiest driving, but remember, I did get the time at Spa, if you're ever worried about how well I'm doing. Feels a little less understeery now, so hopefully will allow me to more confidently get through most of these corners. Still got to figure out how I'm going to get the hairpin towards the end of the lap. A little precarious too. Oop. All right, starting a timed lap then. Trying to run too wide through there, although I did hit the curb. Luckily holding on to the car. Down to third then. Second. Alright, maybe not taking the entry as quick as it could be, however, any run through the hairpin successfully is a good one, I think. A lot of oversteer on exit there. Fighting the wheel. It does not feel as comfortable as my Spa setup was feeling, but the ideal lap time is down to a 2:01.6, so making some inroads. See if we can brake a little later here. Not able to confidently get the power down there, but and that should be more of a flick through that right-hander towards the end of the lap. It's not too sharp a corner. I shouldn't have to really slow the car down. Down under a 2:02 now, 2:01.99. Looking for a 1:59.2. got to pretty conservatively come in here. Get into the second before the corner, down into first with my shifting opportunity there so that I can actually get the car slowed down and try not to get that kind of wheel spin on the exit. Purple in that sector by a 10th. He's off quite a bit in the first sector though. It's a short sector. The first sector is only 26 seconds. I guess second sector is long for this circuit. All the spa sectors were long ones. So how long that circuit is. In a little too early that time, but took it faster. Come to the line, complete another lap. Down to a 2:01 flat now. 2:01 flat. Optimum is down to a 2.8. Try to get it nice and tidy here. Hill. So, oddly enough, as I think I hit a tire there. We'll see if the car is okay. Seems like it might be. Oddly enough, that first sector ends in the braking zone into the hairpin, which is a very odd place. If I just overshoot the hairpin, I'll probably crush my sector time. Just able to avoid the barrier. I think I took out one of the brake signs, distance signs there at the edge of the circuit. Flat out here to, I guess, what's the back straightaway of Rouen. Oof. Under braking there, not matching my revs well enough on the downshifts that time. All right, set myself up here for another lap. Optimal times down to a 2:08, 2:08. Over revving a little bit on the downshift, but not too bad. Running a little wide, not really slowing me down. Set a personal best on that first sector. It's a short one though. Down to third gear then for this left-hander. Best I've made it through there by far. A little bit of oversteer in the corner. Try to power slide through it. Pretty ugly run up the hill, but optimum time is down to a 1:59.3, so under a tenth. Under a tenth off the time I need. This has actually not been a bad lap. Whoa, too much run into that corner. Light up the tires to avoid hitting the barrier. So I'm pretty optimistic about this actually. Alright, we'll come to make another lap here. So I threw it away there in the last sector. However, the car feels actually pretty quick once the tires have gotten up to temperature. Running a little wide through turn one, lighting up the tires. Up through fourth gear now. We'll get it down into second for this left-hander. Downshifting a little early, but running wide. You only get one real downshift opportunity after you come out of that corner. It's very uncomfortable getting the car through there. Circuit does feel a little like a rally, honestly. Not a Grand Prix circuit. Way up the hill then, get the power down solidly. That's a little flick too fast through it. Up the hill, hit the barrier there. I feel like the car, let's see how she feels. After tapping the barrier, I think I hit it head on, so our suspension should be fine. We might overheat in a second, but the car itself I think feels, might not be optimized as much as I did at Spa, but it feels quick, and my optimal time shows it. I'm down to 1:59.25, so that is quick enough, the optimal time at this stage, to break the record. Living in second gear to see how that feels. Pretty slow, to be honest. Felt better through the last corner there. So we'll come to the line, start another lap. Hopefully the damage on the nose isn't too bad or anything. Nicely through the first turn. So work our way down the hill, down to third gear. Through this left-hander, very long corner. Very aggressive angle on the slide. Through fourth gear then, and then coming to the hardest turn on the circuit. Whoa, upsetting the car in the entry, down into second halfway through, just into full save mode now, so I'm able to collect it for the hairpin. And spinning out, but I'm honestly not too upset about that. I saved the car. Alright, see if we got another lap in it. I actually think if I just do a tidy lap, I might have it. Should be a welcome compromise to Spa. Optimal's now under a 1:59, which is very good. Good for the time I need to hit. Try a second again here. It's a little too fast. It's probably too fast that time, but you don't have the engine braking with that low RPM. That low of an RPM, the engine just doesn't slow the car down enough. nicely through there into second. For some reason, second. Should have kept it in third. Second gear then for this corner. Then down to first. Try not to lock anything up too crazy. Try to turn the car and then accelerate. The stiffness of the car probably hurts it quite a bit through the hairpin, but some of these other corners are so fast that if I didn't have a stiff car, it wouldn't be good. So it's a little bit of a compromise, this circuit, I think. We're way up the hill here. Not a great lap. First sectors are a bit of a mess. I don't know why I threw it down into second gear there. Purple sectors are what I like to see. And I could absolutely smash the lap here if I just hit everything just perfectly. So we'll come to the line. Well, sector-wise, not terribly far off. 158.7, so I've already hit it. We're going to stick on the lap. Definitely was not a good lap by my standard. But apparently the bar is a little bit lower here at Rouen. So second run out, I think, able to nip this one somehow. This might have been the easiest one yet, honestly. Silverstone was also fairly easy. So we're getting a good run now. This lap actually feels really good. So I have it in the bag, but can we do better? First gear then. Let's work our way now up the hill. And then fifth gear, flat out through this right-hander. So come to the end of the lap. Get it down into second gear then. Just roll it nicely through the apex, nipping the dirt on the outside there. Slightly letting off. Might be able to keep it in fourth there through the last corner, but on our way to the line, we're absolutely going to crush the rank time that we need and throw it into a 158.1, so I've beaten it by a second. So a little redemption for Spa. As able to do this one not only with only a few laps, but also handily beat it. So Rouen is not so hard after all, but this, I just want to take a slower look at the hairpin at the bottom of the hill here. The reason this is so challenging is we're flat out here, we're flat out coming to this left-hand corner, and we could take this left-hand corner ahead here very fast by itself. But the issue is coming out of the corner, I've got what is zero distance to slow the car down. So we have to take that corner much slower than we could, so that we're actually able to slow the car down. So that to me is the tricky part of the circuit, other than, you know, the curbing being on both sides of it makes it quite tricky as well. So let's hop out. We'll take a quick peek at the lap replay itself. We'll just step through the lap. I'll have to rewind here a whole lap. Yeah, but only, I think it was only lap 12 that I did that, so not so hard of a circuit, better than the 80 plus laps around Spa that it took. All right, so let's jump on board with the car and take it for a lap. So we're coming to the end of the the first lap, which I beat. The time on. It was actually a really scrappy run through that quick right-hander at the end of the lap. But we'll cross the line here to start the ultimate quick lap. Previous one was a 158.7, so I already had it. But here down the hill, it's one downshift. You know, it was a little conservative. Could have got on the gas more, but down to third gear then. Sliding it through the turn. Keeping it in third this time. Through this right-hander, then up to fourth gear, and then quickly down to third and second. There we go. Second gear, slowing down all the time into first gear. Really cranking on the wheel to get the car turned. Softer suspension would help there, but hurt everywhere else. So then jumping up the gears. Down to third, second there for this left-hander. Third, second, down into first, then for this quick left-hand flick. A little wide, but carrying a lot of speed, probably not too bad of a line. Missing that first apex, but that allows me to hit the second one. Then right-hander, just kind of keeping it on your toes in third gear, up into fourth gear. Then fifth gear, flat out through this right-hander. Exhilarating corner. This is racing. Onto the straightaway. This is where you can make passes during the Grand Prix. It's always good to have a wide section for that. Then down, braking a little later than I was thinking we could. Into second gear though. Second gear really bogs down, but ultimately going to save time on the shifts. Touching the dirt to the outside didn't slow me down at all. And then coming to the quick right-hand flick. Down into third gear, probably could do fourth if I get the line right. And then towards the line for a low 158. What do we got? 158.13. So hitting the lap and doing a little bit more than I needed to for that. So we'll save this replay as well, just for preserving. All right. Jump out of the sim here and get this uploaded to the rank site. Get it uploaded to the rank site. Kick in a little bit of our music while we're waiting. So overall, hitting two of the three remaining tracks, which is as good as I could have hoped for. All right, and then we'll look here at ranks. Throw it up on screen here in just a second. Alrighty, so taking a look here now at my GPL rank. So for the Brabham car, it's now full and complete with one big red blob for the Nürburgring, but able to clobber the Rouen time by over a second. I think that's our biggest. Nope, Mexico did more, but Rouen, pretty good smashing of the 159. That means it was probably a pretty easy benchmark time to hit, but very surprised how hard Spa was, and happy that I was able to hit that today. So I appreciate everybody watching. That's going to be the end of the stream for today. I've got a few ideas for some additional streams and videos and everything, and appreciate everybody coming back and watching everything as I put it out. But we'll definitely do the Nürburgring on the next stream. And 8:50 is, sorry, that's my time, but the 8:21.9, that should be pretty easy to hit, I'd imagine. I think there's people that do sub 8-minute laps in, like the Lotus 49. So should be able to hit an 8:21, but it's a long lap, 8-minute lap, over double the length of Spa's lap time. So a lot of areas to, make mistakes or pick up time. And so it'll be interesting, even if it is fairly easy. And if it is easy, if it's like Rouen just was, I'm going to try to get a good time and bring my rank down. So there's two parts to this. One is just hitting the benchmarks and having a negative rank, and that's what I've been wanting to do. But the other one is getting really good times and seeing how fast you are overall. So appreciate everybody jumping in today, and hope it was at least somewhat enjoyable to watch this time, actually being able to hit a couple of the tracks. But I will talk to you all again soon. Thanks.